Have you ever heard of the phrase, hurt people? Hurt people? It's a way of expressing that individuals who have been emotionally or psychologically hurt are more likely to harm others as a result of unresolved trauma. It's typically used in the context of individual behavior and relationships. But what if it could be applied to a collective group of people or a nation state? We all know what the Jewish people have collectively experienced. They not only suffered the horror of the Holocaust, but also centuries of persecution and mistreatment, mostly at the hands of the Europeans. They were cheated, beaten, abused, and tortured, and even killed. Their communities were often caged in ghettos, and they were dehumanized. It became clear long before the Holocaust that the Jewish people needed their own home, a place where they could live in safety and security and control their own destiny. After the Holocaust, the Jewish people told themselves something that they repeat until this very day: never again. In 1948, after decades of migration from Europe to Palestine, they declared independence and established the State of Israel. But it wasn't pretty. Jewish militias attacked Palestinian villages and massacred thousands of innocent people. The violence was so great that it caused 750,000 Palestinians to flee from their homes. It was an act of ethnic cleansing. When critics bring up this point today, many Israeli Zionists tell you straightforward, we conquered the Palestinians. We were strong, they were weak, and that's the way of the world. This is a sentiment shared by the Jewish militants who committed the acts of atrocity against the Palestinians in 1948.
הרגנו בהם, בלי נקיפת מצפון.
בזמן קרב, אם מישהו הרים ידיים, משהו כזה, לא לקחתי שבויים.
תערובת של כל מיני דברים, של נקמה, ואכזריות, אנשים שבאו היו כבר אנשים שבאו ממחנות ההפרדה. נכנסו שם מחמת זעם בכל מי שראו.
ידענו דבר אחד פשוט, או אני או הם.
מדינה לוקחים עם חרב. ככה אבא שלי אמר לי. המדינה מתשוור.
You can hear it in their voices. They are obsessed with this idea of strength and conquering. It's almost as if they are compensating for their history of suffering. All these years later, the Israelis are still vicious and aggressive with the Palestinians. They treat Palestinians the way they were treated in Europe for so long. Golda Meir, the former Israeli prime minister, famously said, "We can forgive the Palestinians for killing our sons, but we will never forgive them for making us kill theirs." But I think the true reason the Jews of Israel cannot forgive the Palestinians is because they remind them of how weak and helpless they used to be. And perhaps because they haven't truly processed their unresolved trauma. They project their anger and pain and humiliation onto the Palestinians. The Jewish people of Israel were hurt, and today, they are hurting the Palestinians. My message to the Jewish people of Israel would be this: strength isn't always measured by how much pain you can inflict onto others. Strength could be measured in other ways, and the greatest strength is in restraining yourself. There's no amount of pain and suffering that you can subject the Palestinians to that will undo your past. You were weak, you were abused, you were stepped on and taken advantage of. You were wronged. But you don't need to pass that unprocessed, collective pain and humiliation onto the Palestinians. Soften your hearts, open your eyes, reflect on your actions. Before you could forgive Palestinians, you must learn to forgive yourselves. End the occupation, end the suffering. Treat the Palestinians not the way you were treated, but the way you wish you were treated, with love, respect, and decency. Hurt people, and healed people, heal people. It's your duty to yourself and to the world. Heal yourself.